All right, take whatever. First rule of this channel is we do not talk about this channel. So someone in the comments asked if I would do ranking video, and I kind of had something in mind, but it's more about value and less to do with rankings. Rankings don't matter in fantasy. You have who you have. You can't trade for them, and you can't pull them off the wire. You're left with what you have on your roster. So it doesn't matter if I have a good guy who's ranked well or a bad guy who's ranked badly. I got to roll them out there to win my weeks. That's kind of my thought process behind it. But value is different because if I understand what my guy is, I know how they match up to other people. And even though the word trade may be a dirty word in some leagues, the reality of it is I kind of need to know what my guy is worth, and if I'm over or undervaluing the guy. So for lack of a better way to put it, I'm going to show you how the sausage is made. So this isn't going to be like, oh, I like this guy. I'm going to go, this is the reason why this guy should be valued where he's at. That's kind of the point of this. So the only guy I would have in my elite tier this year is Christian McCaffrey. I shouldn't have to explain why. He gets the work that he needs to get from his team. He gets a lot of it, and he gets it in the right place. He gets it in the receiving work. He gets the design receiving work. He gets the red zone work. So to show the numbers, if anybody's wondering, this is Fantasy Pros red zone usage from standard leagues. Christian McCaffrey is the number one guy when it comes to getting work. As I hide my stream share, Christian McCaffrey gets 22 attempts, 5 touchdowns, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 1 touchdown. That's how the sausage is made. Now, one of the things that he has a benefit of is being on a good offense that gets him to the red zone and then uses them there. So we can kind of take this as a template and put it over all the other running backs and go, hey, how much of the overall running back usage do they get? And where do they get it? And that will tell us how valuable a player is relative to Christian McCaffrey, who's the top guy. So after Christian McCaffrey, who's elite, I have Tony Pollard. Now, I had Tony Pollard, I think, in the preseason ranked as running back 4, I want to say. He's up to running back 2. Part of that's the Chubb injury. Part of that's Eckler. The reason why I have Tony Pollard at running back 2 is because he's healthy. And the reason why he's not elite is because the Cowboys just haven't needed him. That's why I had to move him down. He's getting the red zone opportunity. He hasn't cashed all of it in. It's not always going to be the good week where your guy falls in. He's got 27 carries in the red zone, cashed in 2 of them. He's got 4 more targets. So it should be coming. It's predictive. They just haven't needed him, and he hasn't cashed in when he's got the chance. More opportunities does not necessarily mean the efficiency is going to go along with it. He was really efficient last year. The next guy I moved him down from the elite category also, is Austin Eckler. Again, this is mostly just because of injury. Going to get at the goal line work, going to get design receiving work, going to get majority of the work from the running back position in a good offense. It's that simple. My pure running back 1 group, Alvin Kamara. Reason why he's here, small sample size. I don't know how much red zone work he's going to get because I don't know how good the Saints are going to be. They're probably not going to be good. They're probably not going to be bad. It's going to limit how much red zone opportunity he gets. 14 targets, 13 receptions in week 1. That's not just elite. That's ridiculous. So to pull back up Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is looking like he's going to have like 80 receptions. 100 is ridiculous. 50 to 60 is elite for the top tier guys. So after 1 week, Alvin Kamara's like, I don't know, going to set the reception record. It doesn't matter. That's what we're looking for. If he gets the red zone work, he's going to go into the elite or sub-elite category. And that just depends overall not on him and the usage, and more if his offense can get him there to give him the opportunity. Running back 5 overall, Kyren Williams. It doesn't matter how unathletic he is. He's getting the work that we want. He's tied for running back 3 when it comes to overall targets. Not all of them are efficient. I think he's running back 3 overall when it comes to red zone usage. 17 carries, 5 touchdowns. He's cashed in 7 targets in the red zone, only 1 reception. But guess what? He cashed that in. That's why he's running back 5 overall at this point. If the Rams are good and they give him this much usage, he's going to consistently be running back 5. And going from an undrafted guy from a fantasy standpoint to being running back 5, that's a league winner. That's, it's going to be hard for anybody else to break that. Kamara was probably going right about the premium draft range. Caffrey, McPollard, and Eckler were probably going in the first round. So after Williams, we have Josh Jacobs. The big knock on Josh Jacobs is not his usage. I can pull him up. I think he's been very inefficient when he's gotten down there, but he's gotten the work. Running back 26 overall, 11 carries. He's only cashed one of them in. 3 more targets, only 2 receptions. But the big issue with Josh Jacobs is I don't know how good the Raiders offense is going to be. That's going to limit him. So everything else we like, but he's got to be in this tier where he's going to have limited ability to score points in the red zone. After that, Saquon. 2 big issues with Saquon. Actually 3. The offense isn't good. He's injured, and he may have lost a step after all the usage that he's had. That's why he's at the end of this tier. Obviously, some of these guys can move up into the elite or sub-elite category. It's just why I would put them where they're at right now. So after this, we're into the running back 2 category, the high-end running back 2 category. So this is a projection. This is me projecting that the Texans offense is going to be good. Dameon Pierce will get design receiving work because he's gotten that before in the past. He can do that. He was getting receiving work as the Texan offense got better. He's going to get the red zone work. And if the Texans get him to the red zone more often, he's going to have more value getting the red zone work. That's why he's projected at right now as my running back 8. Bijan, running back 9. And again, I can back up what I say with stats if you're curious. So Bijan is running back 27 overall with running back usage in the red zone. Part of that's going to be because the Falcons are not a good offense. He's got 5 carries for 12 yards and 0 touchdowns. He's got 3 receptions for 3 on 3 targets for 1 touchdown. Well, you might go, well, why is that so bad? Well, when we go up and we find that Tyler Algier is running back 19 in red zone usage, he's got 9 carries for 2 touchdowns in the red zone plus another target. So that's why Bijan has to be where he's at, because it's a hard road for him to get enough of the red zone usage for him to move up into the next category with the guys that are going to get a large majority of the red zone work for better offenses. Let's see. After that, Kenneth Walker, why I would have him, I think I have him at running back 10 overall. Good offense, going to get the goal line work. I just don't know how much the receiving work he's going to get. That's the brass tacks. I don't know if he's even going to get design rushing or receiving work. He might just get the dump offs. Those are not very efficient. So that's why I would have him running back 10. If he gets design passing work, then he can move up. Charbonnet is also going to take some of his work away every week. That's got to move him down a little bit. So running back 10 overall as a high-end running back 2, because if he doesn't have the receiving work, he's not going to have the week-to-week floor to get him out of the situations where he just either doesn't have the gravy yardage or fall into the end zone. Devin Achane, this kind of surprised me a little bit when I was looking at it. Devin Achane at running back 11. So he missed week 1. Week 2, he only had like 2 snaps, and then he just blows up. And we can actually look at why, because he's on a really, really good offense, and already basically 2 games in, he has running back 4 overall usage in the red zone. 9 carries, 3 touchdowns. 4 targets, 3 receptions, 2 more touchdowns. That's why he's going to be running back 11, and I would have him there moving forward because he doesn't have to have a high volume. As long as he gets this usage on a good offense, he's going to score touchdowns. That means he's going to keep up there. Let's see. Moving forward, DeAndre Switch. Again, another guy that surprised me when I looked at this. So I watched the tape again for the Redskin game, and he had what looked like design passing plays, which are really, really good. And then what the other thing that kind of shocked me a little bit between Jalen Hurts and DeAndre Swift, he's running back 10 when it comes to running back usage in the red zone. So he's got 12 carries for 2 yards and another target. So, I was a little surprised. I didn't think they were using him that way. They're using him that way. So if he continues to get design passing work and red zone work, I could see moving him up into the running back 1 range, which again surprised me a little bit. Travis Etienne, really good overall usage, except in the one place that we need him. He's on pace for an elite running back season. I think he's on pace for 60 receptions. The problem with him, if we look at Tank Bigsby at running back 20, 3 attempts inside the red zone, 2 touchdowns that he's cashed in that didn't go to Travis Etienne. So between the offense not being particularly as good as we thought, and him not getting the goal line carries, he's got 5 carries within the red zone and not cashed any of them in. That's why he's got to be ranked lower as just this really good RB2. Actually, I have him list this group as the high end RB2s. Derrick Henry is next. And again, this is just a volume play. If he can continue to get volume, I don't know how good the offense is going to be, but if he falls in the end zone and he gets volume every week, like he's going to have value. He's probably going to be limited by his receptions again. This is something that we've always known, but that's why I would put him in this category. And if he can become King Henry again and put up ridiculous rushing totals and rushing touchdowns, yeah, I'd move him up. But I don't know what the offense is going to do, and that means I don't know how consistent he's going to be because he's already had at least one game. And we're going to get to Tajay Spears later on down the line. And then finally, a little surprising, Jerome Ford on this one. So he didn't get the work week 1 because Nick Chubb was there. He got some of the work week 2 because Nick Chubb got hurt. Week 3 and week 4 were quote unquote bad matchups. But when we look at Jerome Ford's actual usage in the red zone, which is one of the key predictors of that we want to see, he's got 1 attempt in the red zone. He cashed that in, and he's got 2 targets in the red zone, and he cashed those in. That's why I would have him as a high-end RB2 at this point. And if the offense can at least be serviceable and he continues to get this usage, he's going to continue to score touchdowns, which means he's going to have value. That should be ranked higher than the other guys that aren't going to do that. The next tier group, and this one I just have is solid RB2s, and I know there are going to be people out there that are going to be upset about this. I have Breece Hall, I think running back 16 overall, and I just don't know where to put him at. That's why I would have him here. He's supposed to get a full workload. I could definitely see moving him up. I don't feel like I would project him higher here because the Jets' offense is bad, but Breece Hall could be very efficient, and this is a good place to put him at the top of this tier of solid RB2s, running back 16 overall. And Aaron Jones is kind of the same thought process. He's injured. This is going to be a low volume offense. He may not be the main target. There's going to be limitations behind how he's used, or if he's used when he gets there. Probably going to get the receiving work, not all. Probably going to get the rushing work, not all. I think this is a pretty good place to put him. He's flirted with being RB1. It wouldn't surprise me if he moves up into the high-end running back 2 range. David Montgomery, this one's really easy. No receiving work, all the goal line work, going to be limited. If he gets all the goal line work on a good offense, he's going to have a lot of value. He's running back 5 overall when it comes to goal line usage. So I kind of got to leave him there. But again, this is going to be capped because of that receiving work. Isaiah Pacheco kind of surprised me a little bit when I looked him up. So the bigger thing to look at with him is Jared McKinnon is running back 17 when it comes to usage. 1 attempt in the red zone and 2 other targets that he both cashed in for touchdowns. So that's part of the reason why Isaiah Pacheco has to be limited. He's going to have his defined role. I was a little shocked to pull this back up again. I was a little shocked to find that I think he's running back 22 overall, 14 carries within the red zone, 1 touchdown, and another 2 targets. So there is a little bit more there with him than meets the eye. But again, the Chiefs are a little weird. They don't run it into the end zone, and they throw it, and McKinnon's going to come in, and that's going to limit him. So without the 100% predictive design passing work and the red zone usage, he's just going to be limited. That's on a good offense, and having pieces of good offense is never a bad thing. James Cook, the same thing. He's a good piece on a good offense, not going to get the red zone work, probably not going to have consistent design receiving work, and he's going to have to be this high efficiency guy to get you there. Joe Mixon, this is kind of the opposite, high volume guy on what now is a bad offense. Again, this is a guy that I would move up if the Cincinnati offense is good, but right now it's bad, which is going to limit his red zone opportunities. And he's not even getting the receiving work that we were hoping that he would get right now because, again, the offense is bad. Rachaad White, kind of the opposite of that. The Bucks have been better than we thought they were going to be. He's not very efficient on the ground. The Bucks aren't very good, so he's going to be limited on his red zone opportunities. He's getting the receiving work. I could see Mixon being moved up, and I could see Rachaad White being moved down as the Bucks move back to what we thought they were going to be, and the Bengals are more what we thought they were going to be also. James Conner, what we thought he was going to be, volume RB2, going to have limited red zone opportunities, and the receiving work's been all over the place on a not good offense. Miles Sanders has kind of surprised me a little bit. I have him ranked as running back 24 overall, and you can just look at these receiving stats like 6 targets, 5 targets, 9 targets, 3 targets, and that was in a game where he's limited by injury. So I'm less concerned with the rushing work. He's going to fall into the end zone a couple times on the year. And the rushing work is going to be gravy compared to basically like a slot wide receiver operating as a running back on a bad offense. Let's see. Next group after this, this is what I have called my low end RB2s. And I was a little surprised to bury the lead. To start off with Alexander Madison, I mean, volume on an okay offense. The reason why I have him actually lower is because I kind of think that Cam Akers will eat into this. I don't even have Cam Akers ranked at this point, but there's been some receiving usage. There's been some rushing usage. He's not going to be the goal line guy. Again, great pieces on okay offense. That's Justin Jefferson. So he's just a piece behind that. That's why I would have him there. I could see him staying in around this area or moving up, or Cam Akers really ekes into his work and he moves down. The next guy that I was a little surprised that he was right here was Brian Robinson. And again, define roles. If he gets into the red zone, he's a good play. If he doesn't get in the red zone, he's a bad play. He's not getting enough receiving work. I have him pulled up to show how ridiculous his season's been so far. He's running back 7 overall, 12 carries that he's cashed in for 3 touchdowns. He's also had 2 more receptions that have gotten in the end zone once. And again, that's the problem. If the bad to okay Redskins offense doesn't get him to the red zone, and he doesn't score, then you're not going to have a good week. Jahmyr Gibbs, again, kind of the opposite of that. Going to get all the running back receiving work for a good Detroit offense, going to be limited by his lack of red zone usage, and his rushing work is going to be gravy. So, you're going to have this high floor so far, but you're also going to have it capped. The ceiling is going to be capped. Ramondre Stevenson has fallen all the way to this low end RB2, and it's mostly volume on a bad offense. Not going to get the red zone work because they're not going to get there a lot, and the receiving work just hasn't been there that I thought it was. I think I had him ranked as running back 9 overall, but the usage just hasn't been there this year. And then the guy that really kind of shocked me was Jaylen Warren. Having this high end receiving volume to go with this little bit of rushing work makes him a consistent floor, like very low end RB2. This is the last guy that I would have on my list that I would kind of feel comfortable rolling out week to week based off this usage on a bad Pittsburgh offense. Let's see. After this is what I would call my boom bust RB3s. So Raheem Mostert is here because I just don't know how he's going to be used going forward. He's another guy with this ridiculous red zone usage on a good offense. He's running back 2 overall with usage, 10 carries, 5 touchdowns, another 2 targets, 1 touchdown. The reason why I have him all the way down as a running back 3 right now is because he fumbled twice last week. A-Chain got 60% of the snaps. If we kind of project that forward, he's going to be the boom bust guy. If he doesn't get the touchdowns because he's not getting as much of the work, it's going to be harder to predict when he's going to have a usable week or just be a guy that we shouldn't have played. And that's why I would have him ranked all the way down here. Jonathan Taylor's next. I just don't know how to rank him at this point. So I could see him going off. I can see him being in a timeshare with Moss. I can see him being vultured by Anthony Richardson. I just don't know where to rank him. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that some weeks he's going to be good and some weeks he's going to be bad. Same thing with Khalil Herbert. It kind of seems like if they can get in the right flow with the Bears, he can have a really special week. If that doesn't happen, then he's almost unusable. I have Tajay Spears in this category because he keeps eating into Garrick Henry and he's very efficient. So I can eventually see that he's going to have these multiple touchdown weeks and they're going to be very non-predictive. But there's almost enough floor to almost roll him out as a week-to-week player. Tyler Algier is another guy that, like, if they get into the right game flow and he can get the red zone usage that he was, and again, to show him, where's he at? Being unprepared again. running back 19 overall. So this is just how the team is set up. They're not a very good offense, but if he gets the work, then he's going to have this boom week, or at least fall into the end zone and give you a 40-degree day. And then right now I have Jaleel McLaughlin in this area because this is ridiculously ridiculous efficiency on a bad offense. But if he can continue to get this, like, he's going to score some points. And then finally, like Jerick McKinnon, and again, this is just red zone usage stuff. Good offense, gets in the red zone, gives him opportunities, he can score, and that's just an easy way to get you there. And then finally, my last tier of this is to bury the lead. What I would say, like, consistent floor, low ceiling RB3s. These are like break in case of emergencies type of guys, and Najee's there at this point. Bad offense, not very efficient, and he's not getting the receiving work. Almost needs touchdowns. Gus Bus, probably not going to get the receiving work. Good offense, going to get limited. Has to fall in the end zone, and their number one running back in the red zone is Lamar Jackson. Zach Moss I have here because I just don't think he's going to go away, but I don't know what his usage is going to be, but I bet he's still involved, and I bet you can count on a few points. Javonte Williams, again, this is another guy that's like ugly, but he's going to have this consistent usage week to week. Zach Charbonnet, a good offense that's just kind of vulturing work away from Kenneth Walker. And again, I think there's going to be a week that he falls into the end zone. Chuba Hubbard, again, this is a guy that's almost usable on his own. The only thing that bothers me is week 3 where he just didn't get it done. But the other weeks he's been getting there in half-point PPR and full PPR. Again, another guy is Zeke is getting enough work that if he vultures a touchdown, like, he's usable. On top of that, again, week 2 kind of bothers me a little bit, where he got five carries, 13 yards, wasn't efficient, no receiving work. And then finally, Rico Dowdle, who's hurt, but there's enough usage there, especially with the blowouts, that, again, rolling him out and trying to get a Yahtzee is probably not such a bad thing. And might be the handcuff to Tony Pollard. So that's how I would kind of view value going forward from a running back perspective, how we can value them, where their deficiencies are, if they're on a good offense, if they're on a bad offense. Do they get the red zone usage? Do they get passing work? Do they get design passing work? How much of the actual just pure rushing yards that are almost not as valuable in fantasy football? But that's just kind of my thoughts. And if this is received well enough, then I'll finish off with wide receivers, quarterbacks, and tight ends.